Have you ever hated something just because everyone else did? Let's be honest, we've all been there. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself why you feel that way? Is it really your opinion, or are you just going along with the crowd? Today, we're diving into the trendy hate surrounding Overwatch and the glowing praise for Marvel Rivals. Are these opinions genuine, or are they just echoes in an endless online chamber? Let's break it down. Marvel Rivals is a game worth praising, but it's not without scrutiny. First off, I really enjoy Marvel Rivals. I think it's a really good game and it brings a lot of new stuff to the table. Its ability to combine iconic characters with unique gameplay is impressive, and it's clear the developers have worked really hard to create something special. But I can't shake the feeling that some of the praise Marvel Rival receives is amplified by the sheer popularity of the Marvel brand. At the same time, the growing trend of hating on Overwatch has created a contrast that makes Marvel Rivals seem better by comparison. This isn't to discredit Marvel Rivals. It's a great game, but we need to evaluate it on its own merits rather than through the lens of Overwatch's perceived flaws. The reason I'm making this video is I want to talk about trendy hatred and inflated opinions. Listen, we all know social media thrives on extremes. If we're talking about something beloved, it's hyped to the heavens. If it stumbles, even slightly, it's ridiculed into oblivion. This creates a phenomenon where people jump on bandwagons without fully understanding the nuance. It's really easy to bash on something like Overwatch when it's trendy, but often, this hate gets amplified far beyond reality. And this hatred has a real impact on its supporters. When trendy hatred takes over, it silences genuine fans. Many Overwatch lovers may join in on the hate, not because they truly dislike the game, but because they want to fit in or seem cool. This creates inflated perception of negativity that doesn't reflect the general population's true feelings. For example, think about pineapple on pizza and how it became a meme-worthy, disgusting food. Now, I'm sure some of you don't really like pineapple on pizza, but how many of you actually dislike it versus those of you who just pretend to dislike it to be trendy and fit in? And that has real-world consequences. Beyond just gaming, this mentality spills into real-life decisions. Fear of judgment can lead to suppressing individuality and dishonesty about what we enjoy. And this even leads to avoiding activities or hobbies that we'd normally love. I remember growing up, I was so afraid to say that I played Wizard 101, so I basically took that to the grave. I never let anyone know that I put so many hours into that game, when in reality, a lot of people play that game, and it's really not that embarrassing. It's a game about wizards. What is there not to love? And when we lose our ability to think for ourselves, we lose touch with who we are as people. Now listen, I can hear it already. There's going to be a bunch of sheep in the comments here, basically telling me how Marvel Rivals is so much better and why do you still play Overwatch and that's a dead game and Marvel Rivals is killing Overwatch and all these things. So let's go ahead and break down some of those arguments, shall we? Marvel Rivals is more innovative and fresh compared to Overwatch. Yes, Marvel Rivals does bring exciting mechanics to the table. It's normal for newer games to feel fresher because they build on what came before. And that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing. We want them to build on new mechanics. Overwatch's innovations in 2016 inspired many of the features we see in modern hero shooters now, just like Marvel Rivals. And both games offer something unique. Marvel Rivals' new mechanics might inspire Overwatch to evolve further, just as Overwatch has influenced so many games we see today. Instead of framing one as better, why not celebrate what they both bring to the table? We don't need to put one down in order to make another feel better. They both can be good, and that's okay. Another thing I hear all the time is that Overwatch feels repetitive and hasn't changed enough since launch. But the thing is, Overwatch has undergone significant changes, like switching to a 5v5 format. This shift fundamentally altered the team dynamics and pacing of the game, making the game feel faster and more individual focused. While some players love the new style, others might miss the strategic depth of 6v6. Both perspectives are valid. For example, let's look at The Legend of Zelda as a series. The developers of the Legend of Zelda series shifted it from its traditional dungeon-based formula to an open-air concept with Breath of the Wild in 2017. This change brought in a wave of new players, but left some of the older fans feeling a little bit more nostalgic and missing out for the classic formula. And Overwatch's changes face a similar challenge. You need to adapt to stay fresh, but don't stray so far that you lose your identity. Balancing games isn't easy, but it's necessary to keep the games evolving and moving forward. Some people might think that a game is getting stale and it's too repetitive, yet other people really resist change. They think they want change, but they really don't in their hearts. And a game developer's job is to try to find the sweet spot in the middle of both of those parties, which is what we kind of see today, but maybe not perfectly. Another thing that we hear a lot of is Overwatch 2's monetization ruined the game. Look, I don't really disagree with the statement made, but I also think that it's important to see all sides of the picture. Overwatch's shift to free-to-play and the Battle Pass model was a big change, but it's not unique to just Overwatch. Marvel Rivals uses a very similar system. And even though monetization can feel really frustrating, it also makes games more accessible to larger audiences. I'm gonna be so honest with y'all, I had never played Overwatch until Overwatch 2, because I really didn't want to make a financial commitment on a game that I didn't really know if I would like it or not. For a lot of games I was really familiar with, like The Legend of Zelda, Mario Kart, Mario Party, all those kinds of things, it was easy for me to buy those games because I knew I'd probably get a good return on my investment of $60 or more. But sometimes we just aren't willing to make that risk for games we don't know if we'll like. But with Overwatch 2 being free, I was able to try out the game and see if I liked it on my own without really investing many resources. And turns out, I really like it. Like, a lot. I'm literally making content for this game now. That's how much I like it. And I don't know if I ever would have figured out how much I love this game if I would have had to pay a bunch of money to get it. So although I know a lot of people are really upset about the new model for monetization in Overwatch, just try to think about the other people that have tried out this game and how many more fans have been made because of the free model. Constructive criticism is really valid here, but it's important to focus on providing actionable feedback rather than just dismissing the entire game because of one choice. Developers really rely on this kind of input to make meaningful changes. It is really important to speak about what you love. It's easy to talk about what we dislike, but let's not forget to share what we love. Don't get caught up in over-complimenting something like Marvel Rivals without acknowledging its flaws, and don't overly bash Overwatch without celebrating its successes. There's always a middle ground where we can praise what we enjoy and discuss areas of improvement without trendy bias clouding our judgment. When we speak up about what we genuinely enjoy, we create an environment of positivity and constructive dialogue. And this really benefits everyone, players, developers, and the community at large. Every game faces the challenge of keeping longtime fans happy while also attracting new players. Developers must make decisions that balance these competing needs, but it's impossible to please everyone. Instead of tearing down games for their changes, consider how those changes might benefit different audiences. Your nostalgia for the past doesn't invalidate someone else's excitement for what is new. All in all, I really just want people to be a little bit more honest with themselves. It's okay to love Marvel Rivals, and it's okay to love Overwatch. But let's not overhype one or overhate on the other just for the sake of being trendy. And who knows, maybe a lot of you genuinely do love Marvel Rivals so much and see none of its flaws. But that doesn't give you a really good reason to just hate on Overwatch simply because you love Marvel Rivals. This trend of pitting these two games against each other is getting really tiresome really quickly. Life's too short to pretend to hate on something you genuinely enjoy. If Overwatch makes you happy, don't let the internet trends make you feel ashamed of that. Your preferences are a reflection of you, and that's worth celebrating. Instead of tearing things down to fit in, focus on building up what you care about. Share your love for games and hobbies with honesty and authenticity. It's through positivity and individuality that we inspire others to think for themselves. So, next time you're tempted to hate on something, pause and ask yourself, is this my opinion or am I just following the herd? Be brave enough to break the cycle, and stop being sheep. When we embrace our individuality, we make the gaming community and the world a better place. Whether it's Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, or pineapple on pizza, let's celebrate our differences instead of letting trendy hate divide us. Think for yourself, and don't be afraid to stand out. The world needs more voices that are real. Voices like yours. Voices that are not constantly harassing other people saying Marvel Rivals is better. It's getting really old. So please, stop. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I'm less than 100 subscribers away from getting monetized. And be sure to check out my other videos on my channel. I stream on Twitch every Tuesday through Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time, so make sure to follow me there at twitch.tv/sirenoboi. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye!